The relationship between a man and the place where he lives is truly enigmatic. The ancient genius loci, the geniuses of place, knew that space exerted influence on a person's intellectual, spiritual, and emotional state. For our contemporaries, most events of their life take place in towns, and this is where their cultural forces are applied and tested.
Poltava became one of the Russian Empire's principal towns in 1802. That year, the province of Little Russia, on the left bank of the Dnipro river, was divided into the Chernihiv and Poltava governorates. At that time, the town of Lubny was also a candidate for the vacant position of an administrative centre. Nevertheless, Poltava won the Battle of Poltava of 1709. Moreover, it became not just the capital of the province, but the governor's residence.
Резиденции губернатора.
The new Governor-General, Alexei Kurokin, being also the Privy Councillor, decided to turn Poltava from a provincial town into a real capital of the governorate. The idea was to make Poltava a kind of miniature of St. Petersburg. One can notice the similarity of the Palace Square in St. Petersburg with its compositional centre, the Alexandria Column, and the architectural ensemble of the Poltava Round Square, with a monument dedicated to the Poltava victory. It's an example of Russian monumental classicism. Classicism is one of the main architectural styles of the 17th to the 19th centuries. It developed the architectural traditions of antiquity and the Renaissance. The Great Definition Dictionary. 8 more buildings were supposed to be erected in the central square, in addition to the Monument of Glory. They were the residence of the governor, the cadet corps, the central post office, and the nobility assembly building.
Уездные служебные места, дом дворянского собрания.
Poltava was about to face great changes, not only in architecture. Poltava architect Mikhailo Ambrosimov was in charge of implementing the ambitious project.
Под его руководством на северо-западной окраине на месте...
Under his command, in the place of a square for trading hay and tar, bought for 400,000 rubles, a circular area with the diameter of 345 meters had been cleared out. The Monument of Glory was to be installed in the center with administrative buildings around it. The majority of these buildings were erected between 1806 and 1811.
Одно из них – помещение полтавских губернских присутствий.
The premises of the Poltava Governorate administration were among the first in the city. There, the governorate's treasury, courts and other administrative offices of the empire, mighty columns, spacious halls and a wide central staircase were created to impress visitors. At least that is how the locals living at that time described it.
Так описывали полтавские служебные места современники.
In the 1870s, prominent Ukrainian writer Panas Mirny worked here as a local treasurer. The creator of the modern Ukrainian language, writer Ivan Kotlarevsky, worked on these premises as well. He was a trustee for a charitable institution working with the children of the poor nobles. The 6-columned portico with a triangular pediment decorates the building's facade. The walls of the building are decorated with rusticated bases and interfloor belts, while the facades are finished with corbels. Since the 19th century, the building hasn't changed its purpose. Members of the Poltava City Executive Committee work here today. Modilon is an architectural detail called a bracket, which holds the outrigger plate of the ledge, the Great Definition Dictionary. The post office was one of the first buildings to be erected at the round square. It is no wonder, because communication had to be installed. Prince Alexei Kurokin is the one who prepared the site for the central post office, close to the residence of the Governor-General. Famous architect and academician of the St. Petersburg Academy of Art, Yegor Sokolov, designed the project. Sokolov is the architect of the well-known building of the St. Petersburg Public Library. In 1809, the post office, with a classic six-columned portico, stood on the empty round square. However, the Poltava post office did not operate for long. After the post office was transferred to Chernihiv, the building hosted a school for the poor noble children. Ivan Kotlarevsky was appointed supervisor of the Poltava Education Institution for the Poor Nobles in June of 1810. Writer Mykola Gogol studied here between 1818 and 1819. Famous Ukrainian artist Apollon Mariinsky studied in this school between 1818 and 1822. Outstanding mathematician Mikhail Ostrogradsky earned his primary education in this school. The Poltava Mariinsky Secondary School, which later became the Mariinsky Gymnasium, was opened in the post office building in 1860. In 1943, the building of the post office was almost completely destroyed by fire. During the reconstruction of the round square in the 1960s, the building was restored to its beauty. At present, the Poltava City School of Arts occupies the premises of the former post office. In 2005, the school was named the Raisa Kurochenko Small Academy of Arts, after a folk artist of Ukraine who was born in the Poltava region. This building at Poltava's round square was designed for the Governor-General of the Poltava Governorate. The building, designed by the architect Zakharov, was completed in 1811. The Governor-General's residence is a fine example of urban architecture of the period of mature classicism. There is a nice six-column portico leaning on the ledge of the base floor, and at the top is a horizontal attic. The building fits harmoniously into the round square due to a stone fence with two decorative gates. An attic is a wall above the cornice or floor, which crowns the structure, most often the triumphal arch, the Great Definition Dictionary. Poltava, or rather its historical centre, looks like a green sun with 8 rays and a cross in the middle. The Krula Ploshta, round square in other words, is the only complete classical architectural ensemble in the city that was built in a unified style. It's no wonder this beautiful place is the favourite place of citizens and guests of the city to pass their leisure time. Visiting the Poltava region is the same as looking through a window and seeing a piece of magical Poltava with its great genii Ivan Kotlarevsky and Mykola Gogol. Here you can smell the smoke of the famous Battle of Poltava, as well as the famous Poltava dumplings. This makes one want to find the key and open the door to Poltava to fully enjoy the local atmosphere.